Hey guys, Lucas from iExplore here. Tonight we're going to explore Akihabara, and I'm going to shoot with the 21mm TT Artisan that I featured on the channel a while back. That was a daytime video, and we've gotten some requests to try it out at night, especially since it has a 1.5 apertures, max aperture. So that's what we're shooting with tonight. Also, this video is sponsored by portraitmode.io, which is a photo sharing website. It's a very viable replacement to Instagram. It really focuses on your photos. It puts the photos really front and center, makes everything look good. One thing I really like is it doesn't force you to crop your portrait-oriented photos. You can put them in the aspect ratio that you want. That's a nitpicky thing, but it's a big deal for me. It's something I've hated about IG for a long time. It also allows you to organize your photos into albums, which I think is very good because you can actually use it as a portfolio website that way. So very cool. Check it out. There's a link in the description, and maybe I'll catch you guys on there. I'm on there myself as well. And also, just a reminder, please check out our Patreon. Please consider supporting us on there. It does help us out, and we want to grow it and make more and more interesting videos for you guys as time goes on. All right, let's get on to shooting.
iExplore.
All right, so we're going to shoot here first right away. Now, something, those of you who know the city well, and you might have heard about this because it was like kind of some news, is there used to be the Sega Game Center, and it's gone. They closed it. All the Segas in Tokyo have shut down. I mean, maybe even in Japan, I'm not 100% sure about that. And now it seems to be Gigo with a suspiciously similar logo to Sega. They kept the color and the shape and just renamed it Gigo. It's not as iconic as it was, but I'm still going to shoot this iconic view under the train tracks here because this wide angle lens I think is really good for it. Now I'm on f2.8, okay? And this lens, because it's not electronically coupled to the camera in any way, doesn't give the aperture information to the camera. So I'm going to be calling out my apertures a little more often than usual because I will otherwise not know what aperture I used to put in the notes when we publish these photos in the video. And also for this shot I was on a 30th of a second because this was more about getting the scenery rather than individual people. I didn't need to freeze the action. Let's do some more with less people in the foreground. Like I'm going to get in front of this guy here. Cool cars going through. Drag the shutter as much as possible. I'm going to go to a 5th and f8 to really drag the shutter. By drag I just mean slow it down because at 21mm a 5th is fine, probably even without IBIS. And then hopefully I get some cool cars going through. Here we go. There's a bike coming. Honestly, probably wasn't that cool. Yeah, you can at a 5th you can barely see the cars, but that's actually kind of good that you can barely see the cars because the cars can be a little bit distracting. All right, we're gonna cross over there. We'll put it back on aperture mode, back on f2.8, and because it's a manual focus lens, I got a zone focus, so I'm focusing between 2 meters and 5 meters, which I think is kind of the ideal distance if I'm going to do a street photo of people with a 21mm lens. I got to get somewhere between 2 and 5 meters to get a good shot. All right. So we're going to go over there and hang out in the back streets. Okay, here we go. Now, of course, if I see any interesting characters, in front of me, the way I like to use this lens is also with the flippy screen because it allows me to do kind of a quick shot. I'm not doing exactly from the hip. I'm looking at the photo, but I don't have to bring it up to my eye. It just saves me that moment, which allows me to get the shots faster. Get more in here, and it seems like a lot of places are closed. It's quiet. There's bootleg Sega called Gigo back here as well. All right, but this is the street that's cool. I want to shoot here a little bit of scenery as well. Some street moments. Maybe this guy putting this stuff away is cool. That's cool. I got him as he was hopping up. I like that. See here, just a simple wide view, and I'm going to go back a bit and try to shoot. It's kind of an iconic view. This train overpass that's above me here with the rest of the road, just get the whole scene. We'll shoot that direction as well in a minute, I think. Oh, there's this noise of this shutter closing. It's so loud. Oh, there we go. It's a little bit satisfying because when it's such an ugly sound, when it ends, you're like, ah. But okay, I'm gonna shoot this way. Now, some of you may remember we came to Akihabara in a video that we published way back in 2020. And yeah, it's a little bit nostalgic to come back here now. Now for this shot, because it's kind of a scenery shot, I'm gonna focus farther out. I'm gonna set the infinity mark on the f2.8 mark on my lens. I'm not gonna explain zone focus so much in this video because we've covered it before. If you want to know more about zone focus, check out our zone focus video that's on our channel, right? We have a video about that. It's actually, I think I've set it to be the featured video. So if you go to our just channel homepage, it's the video that automatically plays there. And then you can learn about zone focus, because if I keep explaining in every video, it just eats up time. It's stuff we've covered before. But I am using zone focus, and I've put infinity on the 2.8 mark, which means I get everything from infinity in focus down to whatever the other 2.8 mark says, which is like 4 meters or so. Okay. See, this direction's cool too. Not as cool, but I like just the mood here, the dark signs, the wires. I don't have to worry about changing focus at all because, as I said, it's in focus from 4 meters to infinity. Everything in front of me here, even like the closest things, are more than 4 meters away. I don't got to worry about it. Let's come over here. We'll go the other way in a sec. I just want to check this space over here because I have some experience with cool shots from this angle, but that was a long time ago. Maybe things changed. All right, let's see how it looks up here. I'm going to drag the shutter really slow down to a 1/5 and underexpose a whole bunch. I'm going to do a nice angled frame. I don't think it needs to be a straight frame here. And do another shot here. Very cool. Simple but cool. I think I'm going to go a little farther and do one straight up. I feel like I've done that before, but it was cool, with all these pipes on this wall and then straight up to get sort of the converging lines of the pipes. And I like the pipes here. Oh yeah, this is very cool. The building is yellow. I'm gonna get low and use the flippy screen to really get it as low as possible. And the thing is, on the flip screen, I still can't really see everything. Cool, let's confirm that. Oh yeah, that's nice. Sharp and everything. I think I'm just gonna change where I'm positioned. I want slightly different layout of these pipes. I'm sort of attracted to this shape here. You see how the pipes they go around for like almost no reason, like kind of arbitrarily. By the way, it stinks in this alley. It smells really weird. I don't like it. It's got this weird musky smell. Okay, and I also want to do one vertically, and for that I don't think I need to get that low because I have a little more space if I do it vertically. Wow, those are some kick-ass pipes, I must say. One of these is really good. Very nice, very nice. Okay, since it is so awesome, I'm going to do it again just to make sure I nailed it. All right, so let's move on. I'm gonna reset my settings here a little bit, go back to aperture mode, just in case I see some cool action. And I was like dramatically underexposing this because the camera would have overexposed it because I was using average and there's not a lot of highlights, so I was on like minus 2.7, but I'm back to minus 0.7, which I think is more generally useful. Shot this before for sure, with a very different lens. Let's try it on this one. f4 from infinity down to about 2.5 meters, that's no problem. That's the beauty of this very wide lens, is because it's a 21 millimeter, it has a pretty deep DOF at pretty much any aperture if you're not focusing too close. So like on f4, I can get it from 2.5 meters to infinity, which is like everything. I mean, like right now, the camera's a little closer than 2.5 meters, but if I'm about here, I believe that's in focus. Let's do a quick little test. I'll take a photo of Axel here. And I imagine, oh wait, one more, here we go, smile, nice. And let's see, is he sharp? Yes, he is, he's totally in focus. So, goes to show you. This is actually a pretty epic shot, Axel, there we go. Let's get an epic one. All right, let's see here, double check. Is it in focus as I thought? Yes, it is. So it goes to show you, at just that distance, I have everything in focus from infinity down to where the camera was. You saw as far as I was from the camera, and that was on f4. On f like 1.5, which we'll start using in a moment, So I know, I'm sure you guys want curious how the lens performs wide open. It obviously is shallower than that, but 4 is like already pretty usable, right? Okay, I'm gonna shoot in this direction, maybe. Let's see. Let's do this one on 1.5, and then you guys will see how this lens performs. Because wide open, it's not great. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great. And then of course on 1.5, I got to be really careful. So I'm just going to put it on. I'm just going to put it on infinity, basically. So most things up close will probably be out of focus. But now I'm going to crank it up to f2, and I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to focus exactly the same place, not changing anything. And you'll see the difference between f2 and 1.5 is very big in terms of the amount of like glow. So to me, the lens on 1.5 is still usable, but you get a very strong character of the lens. You see a lot of glow, a lot of optical imperfections, but they don't necessarily look bad. They look kind of cool. That might not have been the best example for that kind of, or you know, for that aperture. But maybe you were able to see some of those effects. We'll do some of the examples later. But once you stop it down at f2, it becomes perfectly usable. It's very sharp, maybe not corner to corner, but it's a perfectly sharp lens for like 200 something bucks, and the size as well is really good. Okay, don't really want to go down there. Let's head back to the station. Let's go on this side. I want to also say that because of its really tiny size, one thing I like about it is that it's pocketable. So I, these days, like to roll with my 40 millimeter. So I have the 40 millimeter f2, and I have the 21 millimeter f1.5, but I can think of it as an f2 because, like I said, up to f2, it's very, very practical. Open than that, more open than that, it's like a, you know, has some characteristic, but maybe it's not practical, right? It's harder to use. So I have these two lenses in between 21 millimeter and 40 millimeter in an urban environment like this. It kind of covers everything I really need. And it fits in my pocket. And, you know, I don't have the 40 with me tonight, but I could have, you know, it easily would have fit. So, yeah, I mean, it's a very solid way to shoot. Here we go. These guys were coming out. That was kind of cool. That was not bad. Was I focused well? No, but you see, I should have kept the infinity mark. That's the only thing with this lens. You got to be vigilant about your settings and how things are, you know, what you're dialed in on. Because it can be very sharp and easy to use, but if obviously you have to maintain the focus at the right distance. And I didn't really get it at the place. Oh, here we go. Somebody else is coming out. And then he's going to go down the street too. Yeah, nice, nice. Other guy. Cool, cool. We could talk about this. We could talk about this adult amusement place because I think that's funny. So in addition to all the manga, anime, and all that, there are a lot of adult stores that sell, you know, bedroom goods. And this is a big one over here, but you know, we're not going to go in there. This is not the kind of channel this is. However, I do kind of want to shoot this view here. I like all the lights, I like the text, the adult amusement park, and I think that just makes it, you know, it's just interesting visually. The name of this adult store is called Love Merci. It's in French, so you know, it's Axel's brethren. Axel is French. So he probably knows all about this stuff, right, Axel?
I shop there every day.
And I gotta say, this area has changed quite a lot. I don't come to Akihabara very often. I used to come more often, especially there was a time when I was a bit more into the geek culture and like video games and stuff, so I used to like shop around and look at things, but I don't come here that often anymore. And I noticed there's a lot has changed. Like so many places are shut down. I already mentioned that the Sega Game Center has closed and it's now Gigo, whatever that is. And but there's a bunch of other like just closed shops and stuff is shuttered and the station's been renovated. It's a lot cleaner and newer. So like, I don't know, it's kind of lost some of its charm to me. Because I like when things are dirty and gritty. That's more interesting for me visually and photographically, right? So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, we're gonna cross over here. And then it's kind of all off because it's a Sunday night. But this is where I wanted to shoot a little bit. I like this under the train tracks sort of environment here. Let's go to f4 and 2.8 and then infinity focus again. Very nice. I'm gonna slow the shutter down. Keep my ISO low, nice and low. Let's wait for the people to go away so I can get a nice clear crossing. over there. Maybe we should have walked on that side, but I just want to point out over there, that like yakitori place with all the lamps or whatever, one of the oldest photos I've took in Japan, like with my D300 and my, at the point, 35 millimeter 1.8G I think I had. I took a photo over there that actually felt like, that's not half bad. I was like kind of getting good at things, so I'll put that photo up right now. And yeah, and I remember when I posted it on social media back in those days, I didn't get a lot of likes, but I got more likes than ever with that photo. I was like, wow, people like this. Kind of motivated me. It's an early memory. Anyway, we're gonna go this way through this passage, and I mean already it's cool, just like from this angle. Okay, get a little closer. I love how the bright light, like the, you know, this blue sign catches the light behind because it's a reflective sign, reflective surface. You even shoot it like off center and get, yeah, I think that's better than trying to make it symmetrical, because it's not actually symmetrical. And then let's do this one on f1.5 because it's very dark in here. Good. And then I think this will really show that, like on 1.5 I focused on the blue sign, which, by the way, quick note, these signs are everywhere in Tokyo. And like, what is that? It looks like some sort of alien leading another alien around. It's very weird. It always kind of creeps me out, the shape of the people on this sign. Let's let these ladies through. I'm gonna go to F2. And then let's do between like infinity and 5 meters on F2. I'm gonna get low here and shoot up the stairs like this to get that, you know, extreme like wide angle effect. It's not great, but it's something. What does it say here? Kanda fu something oibashi. I can't read. Furei?
Furei.
What does that even mean, furei?
Where you know, other people, you cross with other people, like you.
Like a passing, in passing.
Rub?
To rub? Yeah. Interesting.
Like each other.
Right. Interesting. Wow, that's a little weird, Axel.
I know.
But I get to kind of rub shoulders with people. Yeah, so it's the rubbing shoulders bridge that's leading to Kanda, the Kanda shoulder rubbing bridge, which makes sense. It's a narrow little bridge. So let's go up there, check it out. On the way to Kanda here. View in the other direction is kind of cool, actually, before we continue on. Now my focus again is all in the wrong place. Go to 2.8, infinity. Actually, I like the railings here. They create this interesting pattern and texture. All right, so we're gonna cross this little shoulder rubbing Kanda bridge, and then Kanda's over there. But I just want to get a quick shot, you know, from the bridge, because it's, I mean, it's not an amazing view by any stretch of the imagination, but let's just do it since we're here. The nice thing is I have a flat railing. I can make the shutter really slow. I'm gonna pop out the screen and just do it from there. I can even manual focus. I'm gonna put it on a F4. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, looks good. It might have also been that the IBIS is on, and it might have been messing things up a little bit, but it looks pretty sharp. Anyway, let's move on. It's not a killer view. I don't need to do it a lot to get it perfect. And put my settings back. 30th, turn off the screen, go back to aperture mode, go back to f2.8, go back to infinity mark on the 2.8 mark, and minus 0.7. So many things to change. Okay, just before we go now, I want to maybe just get a quick shot of this view here. Okay, because there's these old buildings and houses here. Okay, and I'm going to slow down the shutter a lot. Oh, I like how this fluorescent light creates this light. I mean, on that camera it's probably going to be the same as on this camera. It actually looks quite green, and I like that. That's cool. Okay, not an amazing shot again, but I like this old building with this fluorescent light here. Too bad this like barrier is here, because actually from this angle it might be pretty cool. More from the corner than from the side. Whatever. Keep going. Do a quick shot here as well. Again, I like this. I think I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but these lights, this deep orange light, this is caused by a particular type of light. I believe these are sodium vapor lamps, so that's a kind of way that, you know, they generate light, as opposed to like fluorescent or incandescent. And you can tell they have this weirdly like kind of goldenish, orangish color. And when I started doing photography in Tokyo years ago, I really hated it because I always wanted to like correct for the color. I wanted to remove this color, especially if I took a photo of a person. So the skin tones are all messed up. But now I love them because now I just go with the flow. I don't have any prejudice towards what I'm shooting. Like if the light is gold, it's gold. And it actually blends beautifully with the overall blue atmosphere of like blue hour, or even now at night, the sky is like a deep, deep, deep blue. And there's a nice contrast with this golden sodium vapor lamp color. So I like these lights a lot. Just now on the bridge, there was a nice, you know, nice splash of color, and it was contrasting with the fluorescent light in a beautiful way. And the 10th is doing it. Like, it's very easy to handhold this on a 10th. Kanda is another area where, like, when I first started doing photography in Tokyo, I used to come here a lot. I liked it. I found it sort of attractive in a way. It was dingy, it was interesting. And I was like familiar, for some reason I became familiar with it. I knew it, and just once I knew it, I came back a lot. Just like Akihabara. And then over time though, I just sort of stopped. And I don't come here very often these days. And also the area has changed, and so I kind of miss the good old Kanda, as I already mentioned. So it's sort of like bittersweet coming here. Like, I like it still, it's still cool, but it's not the same as the good old days. I really love these kind of places in Tokyo. Very lonely feeling, very calm. Except for the rush of the trains once in a while. Very nice. Now, one thing with this lens, I mentioned it in the other video in the daytime, if you're shooting into a bright light source like the sun, you do get some flares and whatnot. But they're not so bad. Like right now I shot directly into this bright, you know, sodium light, and there's some flaring, but it's really not bad. And I was on f2.8, so perfectly usable lens at night. That's kind of the point of this video. People ask me, how about this lens at night? There you go. Totally viable, no problem to use. Manual focusing on f1.5 is a little tricky. You got to blow up, you know, zoom in with the EVF and see what you're focusing on. That makes it easier. Otherwise, I just rely on the zone, as I've been doing all night. And as long as I'm mindful of it, paying attention, I do fine. I screwed up the focus a few times. That's because, you know, again, not a complaint, but when we're making these videos, I have to like juggle talking and explaining and also the camera. And inevitably, I make some mistakes that they happen to me even when I'm not making one of these videos, but a little less often. I'm able to focus more, concentrate better on the settings when I'm using a lens like this. Right around here, in that corner over there, there's a really nice koban. The koban being a Japanese like police box. It's like a little mini police station where the cops can, you know, sit there and sort of like watch over the neighborhood, right? And I love this one because it's situated like under the tracks. It's very like, you know, dystopian, Blade Runner-ish, underground kind of feel to it. So maybe I get a shot there. Hopefully the police don't object to that if they notice us. F2.8, just double checking my settings. Everything's exactly where I like it. I'm going to go to 30th, pretty slow, -2. I feel like the last couple shots were on -2.7, but even those were a little bit underexposed maybe. Ah, nice, we'll get a shot here. Very cool. I really like this view here. It's very cool. Excellent. Okay, nice. Well, we've explored a little bit. Like I said, we'll focus more on the walk from Akihabara to Kanda. I think we'll have to come back to this area and shoot another video about it. I know if we do it in this video, it'll be an extremely long video. So we're gonna end it here. We'll come back to this area another time, probably with a different lens combo or with more than one lens to have some more versatility. But all right, guys, that's about it for the 21mm at night. I think it's great at night. Like I said, I've been these days rolling with this in my pocket and my 40 on the camera, or vice versa, and I'm loving it. So thank you so much for watching. As always, any comments, requests, anything like that, put them below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. And remember, always challenge your eye.